Tiziana was located over the coast of Vitilevu between Suva and Navua, headed towards Kandavu. It exited Fiji late evening on that day, leaving behind a path of destruction. Close to the center of Tiziana, destructive storm force winds with average speeds of 100 km per hour and momentary gusts of up to 140 km per hour was experienced over Vitilevu, the Sawa, Mamanuda group, the western half of Banwalevu, Nomaviti group, Watulele, Mbenga, Kandavu, and nearby small islands. It was Groundhog Day for Fiji. Fortunately, we were spared with the wrath of a third cyclone immediately after, TC Bina, which was later downgraded and fizzled out without causing too many issues. The real work starts now as we bounce back to rebuild, recover, and rehabilitate. Mr. Speaker, allow me first to acknowledge the assistance by UN Food and Agriculture Organization for provision of a disaster risk management consultant who has been working with the ministry in the past 6 months, reviewing our preparedness, response, and rehabilitation plans and standard operating procedures. This technical support provided timely assistance during the Ministry of Agriculture's TC Yasa response operation, whereby we were able to implement our response plan in a more timely and well-coordinated manner, ensuring distribution of agriculture rehabilitation items within few days after TC Yasa. We are following similar approach for TC Ana at the national level, and detailed assessments are ongoing to map out the areas, spread, and quantum of the impact on the agriculture sector. The Ministry's initial damages assessment was conducted within 72 hours post TC Yasa. Ministry of Agriculture's extension staff interviewed community leaders, and these initial raw data, complemented by available baseline agriculture data and GIS wind speed information, provided an initial estimated total damage to the affected agriculture households valued around $108.9 million. Categorizing the impact of the cyclone by zones according to distance from the center of TC Yasa ensured rapid analysis and identification of estimated damages that occurred to crop, livestock infrastructure such as fencing and livestock sheds. I wish to highlight that amidst this devastation, the Ministry also ascertained damages to staff quarters, research stations that were located in these affected areas. Work was also organized to ripping of fallen trees, utilizing the timber to ensure timely repairs are coordinated for affected stations. With TC Ana, further damage was caused, including Greater Vitilevu this time around. The Ministry desktop estimates, considering its impact, damages of around 10% to vegetable farmers in the Singatoka Lower Valley area and about 60 to 80% for vegetable farmers in Ba and Andarivatu. Root crop farms in Central Division were also badly affected by floodings in low-lying areas, with farmers experiencing more than 80% damage to their crops. Farmers in the Northern Division are the worst affected for both cyclones. The Ministry is considering implementation of an intensive response plan to ensure farmers are fully rehabilitated. The team are deployed on the ground, currently carrying our detailed damage assessment, which would form the basis of our response for TC Ana. Mr. Speaker, on TC Yasa, based on the initial findings from the initial damage assessment, the Ministry, after 72 hours, recommended the provision of 3 months of food ration to NDMO for households in Zone 1 and 2. In addition, Ministry of Agriculture commenced the immediate food security response, which included distribution of vegetable seed packages for home gardening, root crops, cuttings, and other planting materials targeting households in Zone 1 and 2. Mr. Speaker, as part of Phase 1, the following items were distributed to households in affected areas to date. 19,779 households were provided with seed packages with 5 commodities, which would guarantee them at least some vegetable supply within 3 months' time. In addition to these 19,779 households, 7,000 households seed packages were sent to Thavini and Eastern Division to be distributed there as well. 7,402 households were provided with 10 Kumala cuttings, 1,114 households were provided with Bele cuttings and cassava cuttings. Mr. Speaker, also 2,500 day-old chicks were distributed in the Bua and Madhwata area to farmers along with feed. Due to damage caused by TC Yasa to the flora, Ministry of Agriculture also supplied 190 bee farmers with over 3,000 kg of sugar to supplement feed, as well as rehabilitating 1,722 beehives. Mr. Speaker said, the Ministry also organized the deployment of a mobile veterinary clinic to set up in various parts of Banwalebu to assist in the injured livestock so that quickly these livestock could be saved. This mobile veterinary clinic was deployed to Boa, Madwata and Dakondrove and assisted a lot of farmers who needed assistance to save their livestock who were injured during the cyclone. Mr. Speaker said, in this veterinary clinic, we had deployed vets, animal health production specialists, along with medicine to be provided free to, while this clinic was executed. Mr. Speaker said, with collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Medical Services, we also assisted in the clearance of dead carcasses so that they are not a risk to the community. We had mobilized machinery where there was a lot of dead carcasses of large animals, cattle. We assisted in digging up on the ground to provide for burial of these dead animals. Mr. Speaker said, we also assisted in quickly repairing some of the farm roads and also clearing roads so that farmers can have access to their farm. Mr. Speaker said, with the support from Ministry of Waterways, we also assisted in quickly clearing up drains in a number of areas in Banwalebu so that we are able to get the farmers to rehabilitate their farms. Mr. Speaker said we had organized an outsourced work to contractors so that we can have multiple contractors working simultaneously so that we are able to clear up these fields so that farmers can quickly get back and start working. But again, Mr. Speaker said we were hampered with the work was hampered given the weather conditions there. Mr. Speaker said we are also deployed a team from our entomology and plant pathology section to assist the farmers in pest and disease control so that the crop can be saved. And this is ongoing. The Speaker said we have also, with support from Fiji Rice Limited, we were able to provide a special assistance package to rice farmers to rehabilitate their rice farms. Mr. Speaker said, following the, Mr. Speaker said, I wish to highlight this August House, the Ministry's TC Yasa demand assessment exercise was undertaken, this time very rapidly using a IT tool called Cobalt Toolbox. And we were able to deploy all our staff from the Western Division to undertake the survey so that we can do a detailed assessment of the actual damage. Mr. Speaker said, the finding from the overall operation recorded that 19,678 agricultural households were affected by TC Yasa, whereby 9,936 were located in Zone 1, 8,943 in Zone 2, and 799 in Zone 3. Out of these recorded households, 18,496 were headed by male and 1,182 were headed by females. Mr. Speaker said the actual damage assessment done following this exercise came to about $147 million for the agriculture sector. 94% were value damages on the crop, 5.4% on livestock, and 0.6% on infrastructure. Speaker said the top 5 crop that was damaged was yangona, dalo, cassava, watermelon, and chilies, and top 5 livestock were goat, sheep, bees, cattle, and horses. Mr. Speaker said, in Zone 1, which was the most affected area according to the cyclone path, crop planting area damage recorded as more than 50% of the total area, and captured value of dead livestock was around $5.2 million. Mr. Speaker said, agriculture as lead for food security and livelihood cluster was tasked with designing a response and rehabilitation plan for the next 6 months for post TC Yasa crop and livestock. Mr. Speaker said, following the phase 1 assistance, we have now moved on to phase 2, covering life-saving rehabilitation plan which seeks rapid recovery of a rural productive sector by targeting almost 14,000 agriculture households and prioritizes subsistence and semi-commercial farmers that lost 75% or more of their stock. Mr. Speaker, say in the phase 2, we are continuing with providing with the farm response package, planting material and tools, land clearing and preparation, rehabilitation of infrastructure and repair to farm roads. Mr. Speaker, say, so phase 1 was looking at food security and phase 2 is now looking at rehabilitation and expansion of agriculture in this area. Mr. Speaker, say, as we continue with the phase 2 program of expanding commercial agriculture, we are now also putting together a new program in collaboration with our donors called Cash for Cultivation. Mr. Speaker, say, later this week we will be announcing this new program of Cash for Cultivation, where farmers who have cultivated a minimum of 1 acre of land will be provided, completely cultivated, will be provided with $150 cash for that. So 1 acre per farmer throughout Fiji for vegetable production. Mr. Speaker, say work is on the way to support this cash for cultivation program while we are getting funding from this from donors. Mr. Speaker, say I also want to announce at this juncture the support from United Nations through the Central Emergency Relief Fund for to the value of $1 million. Mr. Speaker, say, as you probably would have read from the papers and heard from the media, the United Nations through Food and Agriculture Organizations have provided us with $1 million Fijian to assist the most vulnerable farming households and fishermen who have been affected by TC Yasa. Mr. Speaker, say this particular $1 million program was launched at in Bua last week, Friday, Mr. Speaker, say, and this includes a basic agriculture rehabilitation kit for 2,200 most vulnerable affected farm households, and 1,100 fishing households will benefit from a basic fishing kit. Mr. Speaker, say, also this package will assist female-headed households, and also the households, all the households in this area who have got people with special needs. Mr. Speaker, say, I want to take this opportunity to thank the UN Pacific Regional Head, Excellency Sanaka Samrasina, for his assistance in securing this fund so that we can assist these most vulnerable households affected by TC Yasa. Mr. Speaker, say, I want to assure the House that the Ministry of Agriculture, in collaboration with the Ministry of Natural Disaster Management and other ministries, were working very hard in terms of ensuring that not only we secure these households who were affected by the cyclone with regard to food security and nutritional security, we're also working very hard to ensure that we will continue our program of expanding agriculture in national interest. Mr. Speaker, said that's in brief the work that we're doing, and I want to assure the House and assure our agricultural households that we will continue to work hard to support them during these difficult times. Thank you.
I thank the Honourable Minister for his